Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now this video is going to be a little different than others because this is actually a voiceover rather than like a live recording. This is from my previous VOD on Kick, and I'm gonna be honest, I should have wrote a script because this is like my 20th time doing this and I keep messing up every time. I'm probably gonna mess up on this one too, so I'm just waiting for the time. But at the date of this recording, it's September 19th and the game dropped like a month ago. This was supposed to be like about my first week on 2K. I pre-ordered the game, got it a week early, barely played it. I barely play it now. I do not like this game. Disclaimer, I do not like this game. Make 2K great again. That's all I gotta say. Pretty much, I'm just gonna be showing you pretty much the process, I guess. I mean, I did my custom face scan. I spent hours on a build. You know how we become Einstein when it comes to 2K builds and crap. So I hit the park a couple times, you know, just to see what it was like. I walked around the park and whatnot just to see if it was cool or whatever. I mean, it's nothing special. It's 2K21 all over again, but I'm not gonna hate for too long because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy like the first week of the game, and then after that it was just absolute dog. So I guess with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight to the part where I make my player. That way you guys can see pretty much the process of how that went. And yeah, so let me go and get straight into it. Alright, so you know the first thing I had to do was try the face creation. Everybody knows in 2K that the past few years, or not even the past few years, every single year that they do this, it always comes out garbage. I swear the face scans look nothing like us, and they honestly just have you rethinking life, bro. Because when I did mines, which took me like 20 minutes to do because they kept talking about, oh, not enough light, wrong angle, bro. Some of the pictures I had to take was just abysmal, bro. I was looking chopped in those pictures. And just to let you know ahead of time, this face creation looks nothing like me. I'm a faceless YouTuber, so you'll probably never see what I look like, but this is just terrible. I don't even know how to describe it. This is not what I look like whatsoever. Like, I talked to some people, they were like, I see the resemblance. Get out! People just be saying whatever, bro. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second, bro. Like, come on, bro. What even is this, bro? My nose is not that big. Then they started me off with like, I don't even know what type of cut this is. And then the hairstyles. Like, we've been doing this for 26 years and we have not changed the haircuts. It's the same cuts every year, bro. Like, it's almost like when I was a kid going to the barbershop and just getting cut 15 every single time. I was low-key getting tired of that bald fade, bro. So I had to try and find some type of style that I liked. I was going through all of them. As you can see, I was not rocking with these whatsoever. Then not to mention, you'll see it in a second, they put like this big old knot in my head. They got me looking like Playboy Cardi. I don't know what that is, but again, that is not what I look like in real life. I do not have that big old dot in the top of my head. So do not take this face scan serious whatsoever. But I was thinking about this one, and then I sat there for a little while. I was like, do I really mess with it though? I mean, dreads is one thing, but 4 of them is low-key crazy. I've never seen anybody walk out the house with that type of cut, bro. I mean, I'm not judging you, but 4 locks is insane. So, and then I went through a couple other ones. I went through I forgot his name off Disney Channel, Jordan Fisher. I forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about, the Jordan Fisher cut. I went through the mohawk, and yeah, again, like I said, then the rat tail. Again, I don't know who's rocking that, but I ended up just coming up with the afro. I think I'm pretty sure I picked it in like a little bit, but that's literally the only cut I found that was just semi close to what I have. Well, at least when I have my afro out. I have dreads right now, but they're not crazy long. I'm not a dreadhead, guys, but yeah, this is pretty much the cut I end up going with. Looks pretty similar to me from a certain standpoint. Again, that dot is crazy. I don't know what that dot is. That is not on my face. But nonetheless, they didn't do a bad job. They didn't do terrible. I pretty much did all the little stuff, you know, the skull, the brow, the teeth, all that stuff that nobody cares about. So after I finished that up, I pretty much got into looking into the builds and the gameplay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to that part because nobody really wants to see me choose eyebrows and crap. So yeah. All right, so now that I'm in the builder, this kind of took me a little while, to be honest, because the way they do the build system is just so much different now. I honestly thought I was cooked this year just because I didn't think I was going to be able to get everything. But for those that are trying to make a build this year, if you still are, the thing that I probably will suggest to you, honestly, is to try not to focus too much on the stuff you want to keep. As you can kind of see, or what you will see with this first build, is I was trying to get everything, you know, the driving dunk, the shooting, the dribbling and passing, the defense. But realistically, that's just not how 2K operates. And to be honest, what you should do is the stuff that you do want, you should put less into it, because when you do that, say if you're in a crew, or say if you're level 40 or your specialization, you'll get those cap breakers. And for example, say if you wanted a 3-ball, maybe like an 80, but you want to try and get everything else, what you can do is you can drop your 3-pointer to maybe about, you know, 50 or 60, somewhere up in there. And then with all those cap breakers, you can try and bump it up. And then with pretty much everything that you use cap breaker wise, you can potentially get 80 to almost 90 3-pointer. So trying to focus on the stuff that, trying to put less into the stuff that you want is always a better outcome in this game. And to be honest, we're just going to go ahead and have a TED talk, because while I'm speaking, I'm really starting to realize it too. This is also just a life skill in general. I know people are like, bro, this is a 2K video, why are you talking about life? But the things that you want in life, the less you put into it, the more likely it's going to happen. I'm not saying don't put any effort into what you do. You do have to have discipline and delusion. But don't think too hard on certain stuff. Don't do too much, because when you start to do too much, that's when you start to get in your own head, and then builds that can literally be done in 20 minutes end up being 2 hours. So literally just you know, just be chill about it, bro. Don't think too much on it. You don't got to put too much into the build. You don't got to put too much into every single stat, because something along the line is going to fill those up. So I pretty much was trying to tamper with a bit of everything. I wanted some perimeter and interior defense also, so that's why I have such a high perimeter. But, or I guess you can't really say high perimeter, they're gonna shoot over you anyways. But especially with the steal too, I try to keep that 60 steal just to have interceptor. But to be honest, I don't really go for, I always play big, so I don't really go for steals regardless. So me keeping that 60 steal is kind of pointless. But for the time being, I thought that was just kind of going to be the move or whatnot. I ended up making pretty much a stretch. It looked good at first, but there was definitely some things I didn't like. I went to the animations and stuff like that, see what I would like on my build. But to be honest, I was kind of limited anyways with what I had, and there was only so much I was going to be able to do. So I ended up trying to go with a different build. I kind of had the same mindset as like I was saying earlier, just putting less into certain stuff. So like I ended up dropping the driving dunk. I ended up dropping quite a few stats actually, just to make sure it all evens out, because my main thing that I was trying to go for, I like to pass a lot, especially when I'm playing in the rec. So making sure that I up that pass act, so that way, you know, I was trying to shoot for bailout, because man, another thing about 2K, bailout was like one of my favorite badges in the game, but for some reason they made bailout 85 pass accuracy just for bronze. That is about the craziest thing I've ever heard of, but it just wasn't for me. So I end up going back, seeing what I can and cannot do to this build. I knew I need some speed. I know I need some strength as a big man. I wanted to keep some ball handle, that way I can be able to dribble. I always like to have the ability to dribble the ball on 2K. I don't have to have obviously a 90 ball handle, but just being able to help out when I can is something that was always a priority for me. Definitely got to be able to shoot. Needed some high rebound. I was shooting for a Hall of Fame rebound chaser, but it was looking really difficult to do so, because as you guys know, the higher your stat is, like, the harder it is kind of to try and maintain it. So I dropped my 3 ball down to 83. That gave me limitless range. I tried playing around with the defense a little bit too, because again, like I was saying, some of that stuff didn't need to be that high, but especially my steal and my finishing as well. That's the one thing I don't like about my build, is that I wish my finishing was just a tad bit better, but again, you got to sacrifice some things in order to get some things. So I kind of was starting to come to the realization that I wasn't going to be able to do everything. So this is pretty much what I came out with on top. I ended up dropping the steal down, dropped some of my finishing a little bit, kept my 3 ball and my mid-range at 85 and 83, 85 pass sack with a 75 ball handle. Then we kept the 95 rebound chaser, or the 95 rebound to give me gold rebound chaser. And then for my cap breaker, I'll just slap that on to give me Hall of Fame. Kept a solid speed, kept a semi-decent strength. It's been helping me out this year. I haven't been really getting bullied or anything like that. I'm still a power forward, so if I am in the rec, I'm usually the second big man, not the main. Kept the 93 block, you know, that way I can protect the paint to the best of my ability. And honestly, other than that, bro, I was just seeing what I could and couldn't do, or see if there was anything I could improve with the build. I was thinking about dropping a 94 to just use like a +2 on that Hall of Fame, but I think I end up I think I just keep the 95 just because there wasn't much else I could do at that point. So yeah, I pretty much was satisfied with the build. At this point in time, I was really just like, man, I wish I could get a little bit more defense, maybe a little bit more strength, you know, just being that big man at 6'10". So I end up dropping my defensive rebound to a 94, and then I just upped my strength a little bit. That way I wouldn't get completely bullied. I thought about tampering the defense, but that really wasn't going to do much. Same with 3-pointer, my drive and dunk, that still wasn't going to help me that much. So again, man, with these builds, you can't really think too hard on it. You just gotta, pretty much like every year, you just kind of play around with it, see what you can and can't get away with. And for the stuff that you do want, you kind of just put less into it, because overall you can always just bump that back up with a cap breaker. And also knowing what type of animations you can get is highly important. Like knowing what dribble styles and what type of dribble moves and sigs I can get for my big was crucial to me, which is crazy, dude. I can momentum and everything at 6'10". I haven't been able to do that in, shoot, I don't know how long. So that's definitely cool, you know. And overall, man, I was pretty satisfied with my build. I feel like I did pretty good this year, and definitely some stuff I could do with a cap breaker. I'm not sure what I should do. If you guys do have suggestions, you can always let me know. But if I made a second build, I want to know, I should think about what I would end up making it, because to be honest, I want to maybe make a lock. I've never really played lock. I've always played big man, but just for the sake of it, just to have a little bit of fun with it, I guess switching it up doesn't hurt, you know. But for the time being, I think we're gonna stick with the power forward, bro. Not gonna lie, it's low-key one of the easier positions to play in 2K anyways, playing big man. So I low-key took the easy way out, bro. I let my homies play guard, bro. I'm not with that 6'1", 6'2" left-right cheese, bro. So yeah, I'm pretty much satisfied with everything I had going on here. I mean, we have the solid finishing. I can still dunk like crazy, actually, which is pretty impressive. The only thing that sucks is the layup timing. The fact that that's even a thing is, again, don't know who gave that the green light, bro, but I be smoking layups like crazy, bro. I'm talking about wide open, contested, it don't matter. I'm smoking layups like crazy, bro. But aside from that, honestly, I was pretty satisfied with my build. I feel like we got everything that we need. We're 6'10". We got some pretty solid finishing. We got some pretty good shooting. We got some free throw in case we hit the wreck. We got some good pass act for that bailout. Pretty good dribble moves. We got some good interior and perimeter defense for all positions. We got some good block, some pretty great rebounding, and then all around good physicals too. That way we can just guard all positions. I ended up getting a pretty cool name, honestly. The rim reaping play shot was honestly a cool name when I first saw it. Kind of gives me like a KD type of vibe as far as, you know, the Reaper and stuff like that. So I thought this was a pretty cool build. And yeah, that was pretty much my whole process as far as making my player and, you know, creating my type of build on this 2K. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get into the main part of it, the actual gameplay, because I'm sure you guys want to see us actually play in the park. So without further ado, I'm gonna just go ahead and jump straight into that. Okay, so we're in the park now. I was looking around just to look at the different type of pretty much the layout of how 2K was gonna do things this year. I walked in here and honestly, I was just disappointed, bro. Like I said, 2K21 all over again. I was kind of getting that vibe. A little underwhelmed by how the park layout was, but nonetheless, I just play the game, bro. I don't make it. So me and my boy Dedicated end up going to the park. We were going to try and hit some twos games, you know, just to start off the year right. The goal was to have an 80 win percentage. I'm not going to lie, bro. Telling yourself you're going to have a certain win percentage in 2K is like a New Year's resolution, bro. You're going strong in the first half of the year, or maybe the first week of the year. I can't even say the first half. The first week of the year, and then 2K just happens, bro. You get a 7-4 stretch, a 6-2 shot creator. You just get something. 6'9" point guards. It's almost just impossible, bro. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip when we get to the actual game, because I know, again, you guys don't want to watch me just sitting on the sidelines. So let me go ahead and just skip right to that part. All right, so now we're here for the actual part that everyone was waiting on, and this is our first official park game of 2K26. We ran into kind of what you would already expect as a team. We ran into a 6'9" power forward, high rebound, pretty solid all around stats, and then we ran into a 6'2" guard, high 3-ball, high ball handle. And I was kind of worried when I first seen the 6'2", but at the same time, I know my boy Dedicated, I can't even speak, was gonna handle it. The point guard gets up a 3, misses the first one, but he gets a second one wide open and greens it. But we weren't tripping, because again, it was the camera angle. We had to adjust that. So same thing every year. But so they start setting screens, no shocker there. Point guard gets us a crazy dunk. I don't know how he got that off, but I was low-key tripping this whole game because some of the stuff he was just making was insane. So as we all know, he set more screens, Curry sliding and whatnot, left, right. Me and Dedicated switch. Tries to get a steal there, doesn't get it. For some reason, I leave the point guard wide open for 3 again, so that's my bad. But now they're up 8-zip. It was low-key looking bad because I think they go on like, I don't even remember how high of a run they go on, honestly. It was like a 12-0 run. I don't know what type of shot he just took, but now it's time for us to try and cook something up. I get the ball, I pass it back to Dedicated, see what he learns. Mind you, he is a lock, and I'm a power forward, so the dribbling wasn't crazy, but you see me greening in the corner with the meter on. I low-key forgot to turn that off, but I wasn't tripping because, again, it's a pretty, like, my jump shot it's 50-50, to be honest. It's really slow, but at the same time, on the contrary, it's nice to time. So 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 oh my god. And then we get another chance at trying to score. I get the ball, I hit him with a pump fake, I go up for a dunk, and I green that one. This is my first year actually trying to do meter dunks. I never meter dunked ever. I turned it off, honestly, so it was kind of weird for me to try and get used to. But as you can see, I'm trying to learn the dribble moves. I don't really know what I was doing, so mind you, this was first day of the game, so we can't even trip for real. We were still learning ourselves. But Dedicated hits him with a move, wide open 3, good shot, but just didn't fall, unfortunately. But the team gets the ball back, setting more screens. 6ix9ine's wide open off the pick and pop. Our communication wasn't the best this game. That's kind of why you see them getting so open off those screens. But this team they were a solid team, to be honest. They were, you know, the guard was definitely doing what 6'2" guards do. So trying to stay in front of them and contain them was definitely an issue. But you pass it to his big, pass it back to the guard, takes another shot. Probably was out of stamina on that one. And then we get another chance at scoring again. So I'm over here trying to learn the moves. I do a nice little hop step. I go up, well, I almost went up for a layup, but I pass it out to my boy Dedicated in the corner, and he greens up. So now the score is 8-11, and we actually have a chance at winning the game. So I tried a Dex here, but that didn't work. So I post the big down, trying to learn some more SIGs again. I was thinking about shooting that one, but again, with my meter on, there was only so many shots I was going to take that I was comfortable with, at least. But Dedicated ends up sigging up and gets another green, and now the game's tied at 11 apiece. Again, a lot of stress was low-key going into this game, and the funniest thing is just like, I think the big, if I wasn't mistaken, was like an 81 overall. I don't know the overall of the guard, but it literally wasn't nothing crazy, bro. But it's kind of like when you run into a new 2K, you got to learn the new SIGs, you got to learn your jump shot, you got to try and learn everything in the game. So it definitely takes a while, but as you can see, my boy Dedicated is literally hitting every shot. My boy's going crazy right now. So I'm gonna be honest, I was in bro's back the entire game, bro. I could not hit a shot, nor could I get open for myself. I tried to sig up again, but I just had to pass it out. He gives it back to me, I'm wide open. Oh my gosh, bro. So now it's really crunch time. Obviously, as you guys know, if they score one more time, the game is over with. He ends up doing this move, gets around Dedicated. I jump here, the center misses the layup. I get the rebound and he fouls me, or actually gets a kick ball violation, sorry. So now we get the ball back, and this is probably our last chance at winning the game. So I end up giving the ball to Dedicated, letting him do his thing, letting him sig up. It was honestly just all up to him, bro. And thank God I got a solid guard, bro, because he ends up greening that shot, putting that 20-20. And then pretty much at this point, it's all him. I mean, he's literally the only way we win the game. So I hit the corner, I let him stick up again, let him do what he got to do. He fades, greens, and we end up winning the game 22-20. That ends up being the first game. Our first game was like literally the most stressful one, bro. Like just terrible. I could not buy a shot to save my life. I was already down the dumps after game one, bro. I dang near didn't want to play anymore, but I ended up getting a couple more games in, as you guys will see, and then things turn around. So let me just go and get into that second game so that way you guys see that I'm not a fraud. So about that, there was actually like another whole 4 hours of that stream that I was going to edit, and then I really sat there and realized I'm not doing all that, bro. I'll do that for bigger games that are coming out soon, but for 2K, I can't, man. I cannot record or edit any more 2K for ever, probably. Shoot. We end up losing some more games, and after that we played threes, which went decent. I'm gonna show my win percentage right now. This is pretty much what I'm looking like at the moment. I'm gold plate, so I mean, this just shows you that I'm not a complete fraud, I guess, but I can't with this game, bro. I think this is my last 2K, bro. Unless they miraculously put me on the game if I make it in God's will, but I think I'm done, bro. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I ain't that in and all that. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
And you never mind it. Why they hate me for being great like I'm supposed to hide it? I just let them run their mouth while I sit back in silence. These days I've been by my lonesome vibing. I might meet my soulmate somewhere on the islands. Flew out the gang, can't chase I'm grinding. I used to rock a fake chain, always wanted diamonds. Now that's 200 on my neck when I pop out shining. La Capital, I stay with the drip, my swag on autopilot. I always did it on my own, no, I don't own a stylist. Grateful that I beat all them odds, that was perfect timing. I made it far, but I ain't finished, to the top I'm climbing. Who would've thought a quiet Taurus was gonna blow from rhyming? I lost my fam the same week that I was close to signing. I no regrets, out for the bros sliding. He watched his friends stop breathing, that made him extra violent.